श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita, Sarartha Varshini Tika of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and the Rasik Ranjan, which is a sub commentary to the Sarartha Varshini by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, yesterday we began with the 13th chapter, Nature, Enjoyer, and Consciousness. And yesterday I just went through a little brief overview also how Arjuna comes about asking this question where he's asking the definitions of these six terminologies Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnana, and Geha. And Krishna begins answering first Kshetra and Kshetragya, third and fourth, then Jnana and Ge, fifth and sixth, and then Prakriti and Purusha, and how he integrates all in form of application, that is the Jnana Chakshu or the vision. So how we have to practically apply it. And yesterday we went into a lot of discussion about how there is a conceptual connection, but not a linear connection. Just like in the 7th to 8th chapter, there is a linear connection. These terms are asked, and 8th chapter begins with Arjuna's question of what these terms are. Brahman, Adhyatma, Kim, Karma, Adi Yagya, all that, you know. But here there is a conceptual connection because Ekatvena was discussed in chapter 12 and Nishkama Karma Yoga, which ultimately leads to Jnana, uh, and how that person who is meditating on the Paramatma, Tad Buddhas Tad Atmanam Tad Nishta Tad Parayana, 5.17 in the Bhagavad Gita. So, how further in detail, briefly it was discussed in the first chapter, 6 chapters. But in detail now, how one attains liberation by jnana, where bhakti is present to a small degree. That is what is elaborated in the last 6 chapters. And while elaborating this, the glory of Shuddha Bhakti or how Ananya Bhakti is superior to Gyan Yoga is also established in the last 6 chapters. So that's what we saw yesterday. And we began with the first verse, and we spent a lot of time because these are terminologies and we have to get familiar. So we spent a lot of time yesterday discussing all this. So now I'll begin with after Arjuna put forth this question, Krishna begins to answer from 2 to 7. Kshetra and Kshetragya, he answers uh, from 2 to 7. Let's go to section 2. Krishna explains Shet, Kshetragya, and Jnana. He gives a brief definition of jnana and then further speaks about jnana in the next section also. So, based on this question of Arjuna in the first verse, Krishna begins to answer. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram Ityabhidiyate Etad Yo Vetti Tam Prahu Kshetragya Iti Tadvida. Now, as I was mentioning that the 13th chapter is is a Upanishads chapters. It's hardcore Upanishads, and Upanishads are very terse. Terse means they are very cryptic, and it's not so easy to understand. Just like the Vedanta Sutra, it's very terse and cryptic. So the Lord said, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, this body is called the field. Idam shariram kshetram iti abhidhyate. So this is very simple, very clear. Now he is now defining what is kshetra. This body is the field of activities for the jiva that is called as the kshetra. Now, tad vida, those in knowledge. Now you have to mark this. That's why I was mentioning that how, sometimes it's who is the kshetragya? Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram. iti abhiyate. So Kshetra is, Krishna defines Lord as Kshetra. But Kshetragya is very interesting what Krishna is trying to say, and the purport will become more clear. And I'll also go to Prabhupada's purport to explain this. It's simple, but still it is deep. Those in knowledge, Tadvida, call the person who knows the field. Etad yo vetti tam praho, one who knows the field, the knower of the field. One who knows the field is the knower of the field. Etad, etad yo vetti. Now, uh, let's go to the word-to-word meaning and see how Prabhupada translates this etad as this. So etad is this here. Kshetram iti abhiyate. Etad. So etad is referring actually to, the previous one, this field. Hmm. So Prabhupada also, Osano Kanti, this body is called the field, and one who knows this body is the knower of the field. Okay, like that. Etad yo vetti tam prahur kshetragyam itya iti etad yo vetti tam prahu kshetragya iti tadvida. So those who know tadvida call the person who knows this field etadyo vettitam prahu, the knower of the field, kshetragya iti. So let's try to understand this, and let's try to see what Vishnu Thakur has to say. Okay. This verse answers the question, what is the field and who is the knower of the field? So what is the field? What is the term used? Now we have to become familiar. So what is the term used? What is the term for this? Uh, Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Kshetra Prabhuji.
Okay, excellent. And knower
Kshetra.
of field?
Kshetrajna.
Okay, excellent. So please, when you study Prabhupada books, mark with the pencil there, and where Prabhupada is defining these terms, mark it. That's how you can systematically study. Okay. Yes. This verse answers the question Kshetra and Kshetragya. And we discussed why Krishna begins, because he builds on these concepts. So first he defines Kshetra and Kshetragya, then Gyan and Gya, and then Prakriti and Purusha, because there is a systematic building of these concepts. So that's why Krishna changes the sequence. This body with senses, the abode of enjoyment, is the field, since it is the basis for sprouting of the tree of repeated births. So this body is made of senses, and through the body and senses we enjoy. And this is actually the Kshetra. And this Kshetra, just like in a field you sow seeds and then it grows into trees. So similarly, it is this Kshetra where you sow the seed of the next body and the many bodies. Because, you enjoy and then you seeds, sow the seed of that desire, which grows into a tree. He who knows the body in terms of I and my in the conditioned state due to his attachment to that body, and he who, being devoid of the conception of I and my in the liberated state, knows that he is not attached to body, is the Jiva. Now please mark, who is the Kshetragya? The Kshetragya is one who understands both this conditioned state and the liberated state. And for your kind information, it is only the one who in the liberated state can understand what is the conditioned state. The conditioned state person doesn't understand his conditioned. And neither he can understand what is liberation. Only one who is liberated can understand the liberated state and the conditioned state of others. So that's why the Kshetragya is one who knows both these two conditions. He is called the knower of the field. He is called the knower of the field. That is again Kshetragya. He is called as the knower of the field, situated in these two conditions. So he knows these two conditions, and it is only the liberated soul, as I mentioned. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti gives the same example. Prabhupada also gives this example. Like one who plows the field, he is the knower of the field. See, he's plowing the field. That means he knows the field. Without knowing the field, you cannot plow. You don't know how to, which season you have to sow the seed, how to water it, and how to. So, is the enjoyer of the food, you know. The Lord says, so Vishnu Thakur quotes uh, from the Bhagavatam 11th canto. Adanti chaikam phalam asya gridra grame chara ekam aranyavasa hamsa va ekam bahurupa ijje mayamayam veda saveda vadam vedam saveda vedam saveda vedam. The vultures or householders. So this grida can refer to also vultures, but there is also another meaning householders. Grame chara. Eat one fruit of the tree. Asya ekam phalam adanti. Adanti means they eat. And the swans, hamsa, or sannyasis, aranyavasa hamsa, eat another fruit of the tree, ekam. He who knows, Yahaveda, the universe of many forms, ekam bahurupam, produced by Maya, Mayamayam, by accepting the worshipful gurus, Ijed, knows the meaning of the Vedas. Saveda Vedam. Saveda Vid will also come in the 15th chapter now. The meaning of this verse from the Bhagavatam is as follows. Gridraha means those who desire. Note, the word also means vulture. Those who have a desire and who move in society, the conditioned jivas, eat one fruit of the tree called distress. Because the tree has the ability to generate distress, even with its ripened fruits of Swarga. The swans, which live in the forest, the liberated jivas, eat another fruit called happiness because the tree has the ability to generate happiness in the form of liberation. Thus, the one tree of samsara has many forms. This one tree of samsara, this will become more elaborate in the 15th chapter, has many forms since it has the capacity to let one attain hell, swarga, and liberation. It is called Maya, made of Maya, because it is generated from the Lord's Maya Shakti. He who knows this tree, Vedam, with the help of the worshipable gurus, Ij knows the Vedas. Veda, like that. Tadvida in the Gita verse refers to persons who know the field and the knower field. Now, here is the most important point. Etadyo vetti tam praho kshetragya tadvida. So, tadvida refers to those persons who know kshetra and kshetragya, the knower of the field. That means he knows that he's not this body, he is spirit soul. That's what it really actually means. So this you have to be very, very clear. Now, Prabhupada is given a very elaborate commentary. Now, I would always recommend the devotees as we are studying this a commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur along with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you can also refer as and now you find time, please read Prabhupada's purports so that it becomes more clear. And here I'm just referring to, Prabhupada writes a commentary to both the first and the second verse together, and somewhere in between, Prabhupada says, therefore, the body is called Kshetra, the field of activity for the conditioned soul. For the conditioned soul, it is not for the liberated soul. Liberated soul is not field of activity of the body. Now, the person who should not identify himself with the body is called Kshetragya, the knower of the field. That means if you identify yourself with the body, then you are not a Kshetragya. And then Prabhupada, understands us that, although we might speak the philosophy, when how many have that understanding that I am spirit soul. I am situated in that identity. I'm different. So Prabhupada gives a whole explanation. So there is the understanding of, I'm not this body, but are you situated in that identity? That is very important. But here it is speaking, Tad Vida is speaking about one who is actually the knower of the field. So that's the point being made. Okay, somebody had raised their hand. Any question anyone has up till now about this section, what this verse we discussed? Any questions? Any clarifications? Parsarthi had raised his hand. Parsarthi Prabhuji, you have a question? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Uh, Here in the earlier slides, it was a bit confusing that a soul who knows the body, the field, only he is called Kshetrajna. And later on in another slide, it was said that the soul who is in conditioned state, as well as the soul who is in liberated state,
I
both
clarified that. That's
look for.
why
Yes, correct, correct.
I
You correct. You
clarified
clarified.
that, in
Correct.
the conditioned
Yeah,
state,
that is
you
this
know that.
statement. He is called the knower of the field, situated in these two conditions. So that was a bit confusing. So
That's
my
why
question which came in
uh,
my mind was that how is a person who is in the conditioned state, how can he be called the knower of the field? That was
that is what
my
he's not the knower of the field. That's what I
ah,
made the point very, very
right.
clearly. And
Yeah,
that's why I brought out Prabhupada's purport also. Very, very clear in Prabhupada's purport. He
yeah.
says, now, here you can see, the condition, therefore, the body is called Kshetra, the field of activity for the conditioned soul. Now, the person who should not identify himself with the body is called Kshetragya, the knower of the field. But if you identify yourself with the body, then are you knower of the field?
No.
No, you feel I am this body. I am not spirit soul. So you're not the knower of the body then. Because the knower of the body is different from the body. So how to become the knower of the body? Prabhupada gives a whole explanation here. Very simple explanation, yet very profound. And from day one, Prabhupada is hammering this. We are not this body, we are spirit soul. But it is a matter of realizing it. Only when we have realized it, then we are the Kshetragya. Are you getting this point?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Bir Krish Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, this sentence in Bhagavad Gita by Prabhupada, purport, in book it is written as, it reads like this. Now the person who identifies himself with the body is called Kshetragya, the knower of the field. Whereas,
No, now the person who should not identify himself with the body. Please read carefully.
I think Prabhu, there is some difference between uh, book statement and what is there in this, I mean,
Okay, I'm holding the book.
Database.
Let me see. I have
The
also read the
lines.
book today. Today only I have read it. And it was there also there. Not. It was there. 1 second. Yeah, here also in the book it is the same. Now the person who should not identify himself with the body is called the Kshetragya.
Oh, I think, Prabhu, there is some mistake in my book then, because here it
Ah,
is very clear. In my book, it is written now the person who identifies himself with the body is called Kshetra. It is written.
no, 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 no.
That means it is
I
printing
have
mistake.
now, I'm in the afternoon, I was reading another Bhagavad Gita which I carry in my bag. This is a bigger version which I'm holding and the Veda base. All three are matching.
Maybe printing mistake could be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just send me the picture later on. Let me have a look and let me
Right,
check with the BVT
right.
also. It can make a whole world of difference. One.
That's what it's basic.
Uh,
Big something
okay,
is.
okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyone, someone else also had raised their hand. Viniti Mataji, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Yes, Prabhuji, I just want to understand that the body is the Kshetra and the soul is the Kshetrajna, right?
Yes. See,
And
now,
the super soul situated in the heart is.
hold on. Basically, when Gyanis discuss, you see, I had not brought it out. Krishna had spoken about Sankhya, analysis between matter and spirit. You are not this body, your spirit soul. The properties of matter and spirit in the second chapter section, Sankhya.
Hmm,
So, at one level, Sankhya is the common denominator for everyone, be it the Nishkam Karma Yogi, the Jnani, or the Bhakti Yogi. But in Bhakti Yoga, there is no, sadhana which we perform as, Sankhya as a sadhana we perform as a ang of Bhakti. It's just by hearing, chanting, gradually this realization will come by the potency of the practice of Bhakti. But in Gyan, there is a sadhana, and that sadhana will be described. Now, as a part of sadhana, when at a different level, see, we had discussed this in the fifth chapter, Sankhya Yoga Pratak Bala. Sankhya Yoga there refers to Gyan Yoga. So, the beginning stages of Gyan Yoga, it can refer to Sankhya Yoga, analysis between matter and spirit. At a higher level of discussion, there is Kshetra and Kshetragya. These terms are used.
okay, okay,
So that's why, in the beginning of 13th chapter, these terms are coming. So
okay.
there is, already there is the knower of the field. There was analysis which was done to know that, there is difference between matter and spirit. But here there is a knower who knows that I am different from the body. That is a higher level of realization, right?
Right.
So like that, these
And
terms
what
are there.
about the super soul, Prabhuji, who's
It
situated
is
in the
going to
heart?
come up ahead. It is going to
Okay,
come.
okay, okay,
It is going to
okay.
come. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, fine. So let's go ahead. Okay. No, I did not finish this purport, right? Yes. Yeah, yeah, I finished this. Tadvida. Okay. Now Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now please hear Bhaktivinoda Thakur's purport. It's very, very profound and deep. And of course, the Chaturshloki Bhagavatam, we will not go into it because that's not part of our discussion, but just we'll touch upon it. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, for both the first and the second verse, he writes a commentary in the second verse. O Arjuna, I first explained the Swarupa of the soul so that you would clearly understand the fundamental principles of devotion Bhakti Tattva, which is supremely confidential. Now, let's see who will answer. First explained the Swarupa of the soul. Where did Krishna explain this? Let us see who will answer. I first explained the Swarupa of the soul. Who will answer this? Where did Krishna explain the Swarupa of the soul? Anyone? Now you should become very thorough. Jitendra Khatri Prabhuji, yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, in second chapter.
Excellent. Very good.
Yes.
This is in the second chapter actually.
And 2.11 to 2.30, I think.
2.12 to 2.30. 11
Yes.
is okay.
Okay.
And then explain the various activities, karma of the conditioned souls, and the nature of unalloyed bhakti free from all designations. So, in one sense, Krishna spoke about the principles of devotion from 2.40 onwards. And nature of activities, this is 2.47 to 2.54, you can say. Nature of unalloyed bhakti, was discussed. I mentioned 2.40 to 2.45. Like that. I concluded with the presentation of the three different processes, jnana, karma, and bhakti, so that you would realize the highest end. So, jnana, karma, and bhakti were all now dealt, uh, in the first six chapters, jnana and karma, in the middle six chapters, bhakti. And Ananya Bhakti has been, proved as highest. In the last chapter also, 12th chapter, Ananya Bhakti is superior to Jnana Yoga also was proved. So all these different processes were given. At present, I am giving a specific scientific description of knowledge, Jnana. So at present, I am giving Jnana and Vairagya. So now again another important thing to understand in Jnana Yoga, the limbs of Gyan and Vairagya are more emphasized. In Ashtanga Yoga, what is more emphasized? It is more of tapasya and meditation, which is dhyana. So like that. So there are these different limbs, so which is emphasized in particular paths. There is also meditation in Jnana Yoga for kind function, meditation on Brahman, but in the Ashtanga Yoga, there is more emphasis on meditation. There is also Gyan in Ashtanga Yoga. There is also Vairagya. But predominantly, if you see in Jnana Yoga, there is more Jnana and Vairagya. In Ashtanga Yoga, there is Tapasya and Dhyana. So he is now giving specific scientific description of Jnana and Vairagya. Now hear very attentively. Now this is the Jnana section of the Bhagavad Gita. How the Jnanis attain liberation has been discussed. So what is the fruit for devotees? By hearing this, you will become more fixed in the fundamental principles of unalloyed bhakti. So this is a glory. That's why one should study these last six chapters very carefully. Which is free from all designations. Sarvopadi vinir mukta. And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur quotes from the Chatushliki, Jnanam param guhyam me tad vijnanam samanvita sah rahasyam tadangam cha grahana gaditam maya. From the Chatushliki. Knowledge of me is non-dual, absolute and highly confidential. Although non-dual, it has four essential names. My Swarupa Jnana. Realization of me, Vijnana. Prema Bhakti to me, Rahasya. And Sadhana. Oh, Sadhana. Sadhana. Sa is Dirgha. Oh, sorry. Sadhana Bhakti, the means to attain me. Tad Angam Pradhanam. So, again, I'll not go into this how these four things are there. Gyan, you have to now really understand what is Gyan, Krishna Swarupa. And Vigyan means realization of him. And Rahasya is Prema Bhakti to him. And Tadangam is Tadangam is Sadhana Bhakti. The Jiva cannot understand this with his limited knowledge. So with our limited knowledge, we cannot understand this at all. He can only realize it by my mercy. Only by the Lord's mercy you can understand it. Now, okay, let me finish this and take up. Gyan is my Swarupa and Vigyan is one's relationship with me through bhakti. Gyan means to understand the Swarup of the Lord, how the Lord is Sachidananda, Sham Sundar. And Vigyan is one's relationship with Krishna through bhakti. The Jiva is my Rahasya and the Pradhan is my Gyananga. All that is the accessory to my Swarupa. The eternal non-duality and the eternal confidential difference between the four principles are due to my inconceivable potency, the Achyanta Shakti. So this eternal non-duality and eternal confidential difference between these four principles, is inconceivable basically. While instructing the four seeds of Bhagavatam Chaturshloki to Lord Brahma, I described four subjects: knowledge, jnana; realized knowledge, vijnana; confidential or secret topics, rahasya; and the limbs or various aspects of that confidential topics. The hidden meaning of Bhakti Tattva does not manifest in the heart without properly understanding these four essential topics. Therefore, through the medium of these instructions on Vijnana, I am giving you pure intelligence which is needed to understand these confidential instructions. When pure bhakti arises, causeless knowledge and realization easily awakens. So, with the rise of pure bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya, easily awakens. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janeti Ashu Vairagyam Jnanam Tad Ahetukam. Janeti Ashu Vairagyam. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-7. These are the two concomitant fruits experienced while engaging in bhakti. So, in the path of bhakti, we don't separately endeavor to practice jnana and vairagya. These are concomitant factors. Just like, you're burning wood for fire, you don't separately endeavor to create ash. It's a byproduct. It is automatically, generated. You don't work for it. It's a natural product, byproduct. Oh, son of Kunti, this body is called Kshetra, and those who know this Kshetra are called Kshetragya. Those who are knowers of the Kshetra. Okay, so yeah, I'll go slowly because this topic is it's not easy to understand. So yes, I'll go slowly. Yes, Navneet Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. Prabhuji, what's the difference between Vairagya and Karma Sannyas?
Interesting question. Very interesting question. So basically, we studied in the 5th chapter, this term comes karma sannyas. Now, basically, sannyas can be at different levels. And Krishna will define what is sannyas in the 18th chapter. Kamyanam karmanam nyasa sannyasa kavayo vidu. Kamyanam. Kamyanam means desires. Karmanam. Because you have material desire and then to fulfill that desire, you do karma. Kamyanam karmanam nyas. Nyas means one gives up. That is sannyas. But in the process of Nishkama Karma Yoga, as one becomes situated in Jnana, then when he is on that platform, then he gives sannyas of karma. That is karma sannyas. Whereas he doesn't give up the desire for liberation. That is the desire he cultivates because that is the jnana sadhana, that is his goal, that is his aspiration. But the highest is sarva dharman parityajya, mam ekam sharanam vraja. or Anyabhilashita Shunyam, as Rupa Goswami defines. So, but in that path, that is that even having the desire for moksha is not considered as a desire, material desire. But according to definition of bhakti and pure devotion, that is also, that is it is, it is kaitava dharma in one sense. Because our goal is panchama purushartha prema. So like that, there is difference between karma sannyas, and within the process of jnana. Now, when one takes to the sannyas order, then there is a sadhana. There are angas of sadhana in the practice of, jnana yoga. So one of the angas is vairagya. And they have to practice the sadhana of vairagya. Indriyarteshu
So,
vairagya, it will come up in the next few
so
words.
what is he renouncing?
Pardon? Pardon, I did
Hare
not hear.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Uh,
What is he renouncing? The Gyani.
he is renouncing all material desires which bind the conditioned soul in a material body. But he has the desire for liberation.
Okay.
Mhm. He is Indriya Arteshu Vairagya. He has Vairagya for Indriya Arteshu, senses and sense objects, because he knows, he has that knowledge that no, it binds us in the material world like that.
So it's more of a like a
So,
forced thing.
I would recommend, let's stick to the subject. Even
Okay.
last question was asked about what is coming up ahead. What is being discussed, if you are not understanding, please stick to that only. What is going to come
Okay.
ahead, when that comes, that time you can put up these questions. It is going to come ahead. But of course, this
Okay.
question was very relevant and very interesting question. What is the difference between Vairagya and Karma Sannyas? So it was a very, very profound question, I can say. Okay.
Oh,
So
oh, thank
I,
you.
I
Thank you,
hope this
Prabhuji.
is clear, na?
Yeah.
It will come up. It will come up. See, we have to understand this subject in totality, and now little briefly, Krishna is going to expand it, and again it will come up in the 18th chapter.
Okay.
So systematically, Krishna is going to develop this, and let's go step by step. Okay, that's my
Okay.
request.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay. Any other clarifications anyone else has? Okay, so now there was asked question, what about the super soul? Yes, it's coming up. This verse speaks about it. क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. O descendant of Bharata, know that I also am the knower of the field. Kshetragyam cha api mam vidhi. Now again, Krishna has used this word vidhi. Now had this cha not, this is the verse which Mayavadis interpret. Of course, Baldev Vidyabhushan goes into a lot of polemics, and even Ramanujarya, especially for Bhagavad Gita, you know, 2.12 and this 13.3, you know. So, they take a dig, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan and Ramanacharya. They take a dig on the Mayavadis. So, of course, we will not go into that. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur doesn't go into that much. Prabhupada also doesn't. So, had this cha not been there, then it would have made a lot of difference. And they interpret, that ultimately it is that Brahman, who is there, all pervading. That's how they interpret it. You can interpret, it's Sanskrit, and the way the words can be joined. But without this cha makes all the difference. Now I am just giving an English statement. He is there. He is also there. Okay. Now, who will tell me what these two statements mean? Think about it. I should have heard it became just referring to, yes. Two devotees have raised, three devotees have raised their hands. Okay, four. Okay. I'll give first chance to the senior most devotee, Tukaram Mishkin Prabhuji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Uh,
Dandavat. Is there is singular, one person is there.
uh,
He's also there, he's in the group or is it somebody else?
ah. So
And
just that one word also makes such a difference to the statement, That
Mm,
means, he is there, others are also there.
yes.
So this just one. Similarly, this chair here. So along with the Kshetragya, that is the individual soul, there is also another Kshetragya, and it is me, Mam. Krishna is saying, I am that Kshetragya. And he identifies himself as what? Sarva Kshetreshu Bharata. And I know all the Kshetras. Whereas this first Kshetragya knows only his Kshetra. And then he goes on to define what is Jnana. Kshetra, Kshetra Gayor. This is Dvivachana. That means one who knows Kshetra and there is two Kshetragyas. One is the individual soul and another is the Sarva Kshetreshu who is also there along with the soul. That is the super soul. One who knows the Kshetra and Kshetragya. The two Kshetragyas. Yat tad jnanam matamama. This is my opinion. That is jnana. So, okay, let's read this. O descendant of Bharat, know that I am also the knower of the field. Kshetragyam cha api mam vidhi. In all bodies, sarva kshetreshu. But that is not case of that the individual kshetra is not the knower of all bodies. He is only knowing his body. According to me, mama matam, knowledge means tad jnanam, knowledge of the field. And knowledge of the two types of knowers of the field. Yat Kshetra, Kshetra Gayor, Jnanam. Okay. Vishwanath Chakravarti. It has been said that the Jiva is the knower of the field because of his knowledge of the body. So again, if it was not clear in the previous statements, here it is more clear. The Jiva is the knower of the field because of the knowledge of his body, Kshetra, the knowledge of the Kshetra. He's the knower. But the Paramatma also is the knower of the field because he knows all bodies completely. Know that I, Mam, the Paramatma situated as the monitor in all the bodies, am the knower of the field. Each jiva has knowledge of his particular body, but not of all bodies. But I, though one person, have knowledge of all bodies completely. That's also the difference. This distinction should be understood, the distinction between the two Kshetragyas. And it should not equate to one. The Mayavad is equal to one. What is knowledge? Knowledge of the Jiva and Paramatma, both knowers of the field, along with the knowledge of the field, Kshetra, is called knowledge according to me. Explaining this verse in a different way, saying that there is only one Jiva in existence. This is called as Ek Jivavad. One knower of the field cannot be accepted since the opinion is contradicted by the later statement, Uttama Purushastu Anya Paramatmete Udharita. But there is another supreme person called as the Paramatma. So there is, Vishwanath Chakravarti doesn't go into the polemics, but Baldev Vidyabhushan's commentary goes into a lot of detail. Note, this is the case in Mayavad philosophy. Baldev in his commentary explains and defeats this interpretation. So he goes into, I told you, a lot of polemics and defeats this interpretation. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In regard to Kshetra, the field, and Kshetragya, the knower of the field, there are three principles: the Lord, Ishwar, the living entity Jiva, and inert, inert. Okay. inert matter. So there is Jiva, Jagadishwar, and Jagat. That is what is called as Tattvatraya. Know that just as there is one Kshetragya, the living entity in each body, I am the principal Kshetragya in this entire inert world. By my controlling potency as the super soul, I am the knower of all other knowers. The knowledge of those who have understood these three principles by deliberating on Kshetra and Kshetragya is indeed realized knowledge. So one needs to deliberate, and this is the path of Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga means intense meditation or deliberation. Gyanis are absorbed, oh, this verse in the Upanishads, this is this meaning, they are constantly doing chintan, mananam. Okay, text 4. Yat kshetram yaccha yadrikcha yad vikara yatascha yat sacha yo yat prabhavascha tat samasena me shrunu. Hear from me briefly. Samasena me shrunu. Krishna is saying here, what is the composition of this field? Kshetram yaccha. So the composition of this field, Kshetra was defined. Now, what is the composition? What it is composed of, this Kshetra? What are its qualities? Yadrikcha. So, Yadrik refers to qualities. So, what is Krishna going to speak in brief? He is going to speak about the composition of the field. Kshetram Yacha. Then, what are its qualities? Yadrikcha. What are its transformations? Yad Vikara. What are the transformations which happen in the field? From where it originates? Yatascha. So where it originates, the jiva, how does it originate? By what varieties it is known? Yat. This is the sixth one. And who is the knower? Sachaya. And what are his powers? Okay. So I have summarized this, 13.4 is explained practically in this chapter. How the body is constituted. That is what? Kshetram Yacha. What the changes the body undergoes. Text 7 and 20. That is what are the vikar. And then how, when, and where the body is produced. Text 6, 22, and 23. How, when, and where. So, where and how, what it's from where it originates and by what variety it is known. And then the identity of the knower of the field of activities. So this was one. Who is the knower? And that is dealt in 14 to 18 and 23. And the influence of the knower, that was also mentioned. Prabhava, yat prabhavascha. So what its influence are? That is dealt in again 14 to 18. Okay, so let's go into this. Okay, time is almost up, and I will take up the next verse also. It's very brief. Okay. Now the Lord begins to elaborate on what he has said previously in the abbreviated form. He told in abbreviated form what the Kshetra is, Kshetragya is, and Kshetragya, the second Kshetragya, and what is Jnana. What he has briefly mentioned, he starts elaborating. Hear from me in brief what does the body consist. Yacha. Kshetram Yacha. A conglomeration of 5 gross elements, prana, senses, and other things. What qualities it exhibits, yadrik, such as desire and hatred. What the transformations are, yadvikar, into undesirable and desirable things. From where, what it arises, yata, from the combination of matter and soul. It arises from the combination of matter and soul. By what it is distinguished, yat, by difference among various moving and non-moving bodies. So yat is, what is it distinct? And who yah is he, sah, the knower of the field. And the knower of the fields are two, Jiva and Parman. So all this. So this is something to do with Sanskrit that, the neuter form of Yat and Tat is used instead of masculine though Jiva and Paramatma and the field are referred to the rule of grammar. And then don't worry about this. Okay. Now, Krishna further speaks. Rishibir Bahuda Geetam Chandobir Vivide Pratak Brahma Sutra Padeshcheva Hetu Madbir Vinishchite. Where this is it discussed somewhere else, Krishna is giving a praman that whatever is speaking, it has been spoken by great rishis. It is spoken in the Chandogya Upanishads, Chandobir Vividay Pratak, and it is also spoken in the Brahma Sutra. And now I am briefly describing it. So Arjuna is saying, you are describing this briefly. Who then has described this in detail? Where it is described in detail? You are describing it briefly. So anyone who wants to know more, then he has to refer what? It has been described by rishis such as Vasisht in the scriptures dealing with yoga. So the Vasishtha Yoga Sutras, this is there. By the Vedas, Chandobi, or the Chandogya Upanishads, as I mentioned, and by the words of Brahma Sutras. So Brahma Sutra Padashcheva. So these are there it is described in detail. Here only Krishna describes. The Brahma Sutras, through their words, Pade, such as Atato Brahma Jigyasa, make known Brahman. But what type of words are they? These are words of logic. Hetu Madbir, cause and effect, which are very decisive. Vishesha Nishchita, Vinishchita, for certain you can understand. Examples are as follows. So he gives example. Ikshater na shabdham. Brahman is not inexpressible by words because it is seen that it is conveyed through the words in the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra. The Mayavadis say, it is anirvachaniya. But, very clearly it is said. It is accessible by words because it is conveyed in the Vedas. And Anandamaya Abhyasa. The word Anandamaya refers to Parabrahma because of repeated use of the word Brahman in relation to it. So there is repeated use of Brahman in the Upanishads and it refers to Parabrahma. So, okay. Any questions you have up till now? Up till now? Any questions? Any questions? Any clarifications? Yes, Navneet Kalra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, just one clarification. For a Jnani, the knower of the field are also two, Jiva and Super Soul.
Yes, definitely. There is no doubt. And if he
But for
has
him,
and these are the Brahmavadis, and if he has that conception that that I am Brahman, all pervading, then that becomes Mayavad philosophy. And we have seen that destinations,
yeah,
9.11 and 9.12, we discussed that. Yes?
okay. Yeah,
Hmm. So it's very clear that uh, if you have to become very thorough with the fifth and sixth chapter, especially the fifth chapter. In the fifth chapter, if you see, there are these three doers,
yeah,
and how the living entity who is situated in the self, although he's doing actions, but he has given up the desire for the fruits. So that's why he's situated in the self. He is self-realized. And then with that he comes to know also the super soul. ज्ञानेन तु तद अज्ञानम येषां नाशितम् आत्मन तेषाम अदित्यवज् ज्ञानम प्रकाशयति तत्परम. So the super soul reveals the soul in one sense. Not that the soul realizes the super soul. It is the super soul only who will reveal. And then there's a transition. That's a very important critical verse, 5.17. Tad buddhas tad atmanas. Now the Jnani meditates not on the self but on the super self in order to attain liberation. So this distinction is very clear that these two Kshetragyas are there for the Jnani. Is it clear?
okay. Yes, yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes. All are becoming very,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu,
very
Prabhu.
key learned Jnanis asking very philosophical questions. Yes.
Prabhu, in 13.2, Tadvida,
Mhm.
Tadvida refers to all three, I mean, Jnani, Yogi, and devotees, or
No,
specific
here
to
in this section specifically, it is referring to the Gyanis.
Jnani?
They understand, that I am different from the body. Of course, for the practitioner of the Bhakti Yogi, with the practice of Bhakti, he will realize that. And for the Ashtanga Yogi also. But here in this section, when we are dealing, this is specifically referring to the Jnana Yoga path, how he attains liberation. So in that context, we can say that, it is referring to the Jnani, because this is the Jnana Yoga section.
Right, right.
But
Thank
it is equally applicable to all three. But you have to understand Tadvida is one who knows that he is not the body,
you. Yes.
not just theoretical knowledge. One who doesn't not identify himself with the body, which is a very exalted state. Okay.
That's liberated, say, basically.
Yeah, it's beginning of the liberation stage, you can say.
Right.
Mhm. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions anyone else has? Okay, so we stop here. Time is up, and we'll continue this discussion. I hope you all are relishing the Bhagavad Gita. Please, it's my humble request, read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita and contemplate and meditate on the Bhaktivedanta purports. It's very, very wonderful. Today afternoon also I was reading Prabhupada purports and I was relishing. So please do that, and thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.